Well, that's interesting. Okay, anyway, we're hopping into game number 1. For whatever reason, we don't have ourselves a leadership board. I'm figuring that out as we go along here. I do apologize for that. But yes, we are up against, of course, Georgia Tech. And from what I understand, the issue was in regards to one of their players. But it has been figured out. They're allowed to keep on playing. And we have ourselves a 2-goal lead already here for the side of Georgia Tech. I'm going to try and quickly see if I can figure out how to get that to come back up. There we go. That's better. Sorry about that initial start. Don't know why that happened. Maybe because I was sitting too long. But yeah, Georgia Tech, of course, they came on a couple wins themselves, having a fantastic start. But St. Clair was really starting to get the hang of things near the end of that last matchup. But that gigantic delay is really going to cut off any momentum of theirs as they try to push forward into the top 4 of PlayVS. And hello, Fusion, why don't you just carry it from one side to the other? Nicely done, able to squeak it through, bring this back to within 1. All right, so we still have 4 minutes left on the clock. Of course, both these teams coming out swinging extremely quickly. And actually, Georgia Tech getting rather aggressive. Fusion thought that was going in, let it go, and it hit the post. Unfortunate for them, would have definitely tied it up, but the second shot opportunity comes through, blocked by Alec. On the side of Georgia Tech, of course, we have Alec, we have Oni, and we have Taff. Some nice short usernames that I can really say nice and quickly. Thank you guys for doing that, inadvertently. We do see Alec coming in, but barely going to miss his mark. Oni going to keep it in, but the pass going to be intercepted. Kamal try to get a piece of it. Actually, just lets Fusion take it. Centering attempt going to be stopped. We have Kariz and Alec battling along the sides. Taff with a solid demo onto Kariz, going to let Fusion pick it up in his own corner. Denied by Alec, though. Went up to challenge him, so now Taff has it in the St. Clair corner. Centering attempt. Shot goes high. Fusion to Kariz. Kariz going to be able to bring it into the GT zone for the moment anyway. They're passing it back to Kamal. Gets a piece of it, drops it down. Not going to be centered just yet, though. Fusion shot on target, stopped by Alec. Centering attempt, Fusion. Pop fly ball. Can he find his own rebound? He's damn well going to try for it. Can he get one more? Slow pitch. Kamal going to tie this up at 2 after a very slow motion centering attempt here from Fusion. Puts it right onto the left front quarter panel of Kamal and was able to secure that one. Nicely done to tie this up. It looks like GT was going to come out of there strong. I know they were angry. They didn't want to be under that pause as much as we did. Of course, we didn't want it either, don't get me wrong. But this could be a quick way to tie it right back up. A bit of a flub on the defense is going to let Oni walk right in and take care of it. Kamal got all 4 tires on it, but didn't really get much juice. And Oni going to be able to secure it past Fusion to put them back in the lead at the halfway point. Off the face-off goes into the GT zone. Alec with control gets it past Kariz, but it's not going to get past Fusion. Kamal and Fusion and Kariz, everybody's taking the skies to try and stop this one or get the shot off. It's going to be passed back to Fusion, who tries to get it to his partner. It ends up going to Oni. That could have been dangerous, but Kariz going to make the save. A little bit of double committing coming out here from the side of St. Clair. They're eager to try and get this out of their zone, but they could leave themselves wide open if they are not too careful. A nice centering attempt coming out here from Kamal. Fusion going to get a piece. Not enough. Oni going to push it away. Less than 2 minutes in this game. Slow pitch here towards the center of the St. Clair zone. Could have been scary, but Fusion going to clear it out for the moment. Alec looking to contest. Kariz shot goes above. Above the crossbar where Oni is ready and waiting. Centering attempt from Kamal. Going to go a little bit too far. Is going to force a shot out from Alec, who actually is going to be stopped by Kariz. Fusion off the wall in the GT zone. Slow motion back towards the crease. It worked last time, but now we have a 3-on-1 against Kamal. Kamal was going to get just enough of it to hit the crossbar. But the pressure is still on Fusion right at the right moment. Oni was coming in hot, ready to make the shot. And Fusion going to try and make the play up in the skies. Not going to get past Taff, however. Kamal going to slow it down and actually ends up giving it away to Taff, who dumps it into the St. Clair zone. 1 minute of play left in this first game. Best of 5 series still for at least 1 round longer. But here it goes. Kamal with all the time in the world to secure that shot. Puts it dead center, making the defense look silly. And going to tie this one up at 3. And I've been corrected. The best of 7s actually start now, so we could be in for the long haul here tonight between these two teams. Not only do they seem even, but this is a high-scoring game to start off the series. All in the St. Clair zone, 23 seconds. Double commit on St. Clair, but at least it's going to be safe this time. Kamal's going to be able to finish off this clearing attempt. Slow motion centering attempt. Can he get shot off it, actually? Made a try. Taff going to stop it. Overtime is imminent if neither team can secure a goal within these next couple seconds. Alec was in position, though. A very scary attempt. Kamal maybe with one opportunity. A bit of an odd bounce. Kariz shot. That would have been on target, but it hits the ground. Holy moly, we have another plenty of games of this set still to go. Gosh, I like these Rocket League guys because they absolutely kill me in the best way. But it's going to be for the long haul, though, because it looks like Alec is going to be able to shut us up here for game number 1 after a bit of a weaker clearing attempt coming out. And the save was not made. Alec going to start things off right for his squad, securing the first game. GT Swarm will take game number 1 thanks to 2 goals from Oni, 1 from Alec, and 1 from Taff. Everybody getting on the board there. And then on the side of St. Clair, the goals were from Fusion got 1 and Kamal got 2. Well, that was definitely an interesting start to this matchup. And did I get taller all of a sudden? I feel like I have. Whoopsie, that's weird. But anyway, fantastic start to there for the GT Swarm. It looked like they were going to be much scarier the way that game started off when I was fumbling around with the scoreboard, because they came off, they got 2 goals just like that. Like, that was brutal. But then St. Clair able to tie it up, looked good, and now it's just a matter of time before we get into game number 2. They barely lose this one in overtime, but because this is best of 7 series, I mean, we can be here for a little while still. And tell you what, like, St. Clair's got a lot of matches. Even like worst case scenario, they drop this one. They also have the 3rd place match from UCEA later on tonight as well. So they are going to be constantly on the run here today. But that being said, we're just getting started with these quarterfinal matchups. As you can hear, we're about to get started with game number 2 as Georgia Tech take game 1 in that overtime fashion. Kind of stuck in the neutral zone after the face-off, but finally Alec on the side of GT is looking to get something started with Taff. Shot on target, goes maybe a little bit high. Gray's in the corner, it lobs up for Fusion, but it was going to be stopped by Alec. Fusion going to use his own backboard and then use a double tap to make sure he can put it aside into the corner, where Kariz and Kamal are actually going to fight each other for it. A little bit of an odd spot there, but now Kariz is going to try and knock it down. High-flying Taff actually misses his mark, but just leaves the ball for Oni. Kamal all the way to Fusion. Can he find an additional touch on it? Kariz is going to be able to find the rebounds, but it is going to be denied by Oni, and now Taff is going to keep this thing moving into the corner of the St. Clair zone. Goes high, but past the net now in the left corner. Race to the skies. Kamal already up there as well. This is an awkward spot for St. Clair right now. There's lots of people trying to get this shot off, and sure enough, it is going to be Taff able to secure that one after that ball was just bouncing around in that crease for way too long. It was just a matter of time before somebody finished it off. Sure enough, Georgia Tech going to do just that. Off the face-off we go into the GT zone. Fusion contesting Alec up in the skies. Alec slowing it down. Looks for Taff. Taff looking to dump and chase. Try and beat out Kariz, but Kariz does win that race. Kamal versus Oni. Oni's going to actually steal it away from him. Solid job from him to stop that, considering he was the only defender available on the side of Georgia Tech. Taff going to keep it in the St. Clair zone, brings it back into the corner himself, does not have any boost to continue the play, but he does have teammates nearby. Alec has all the time in the world to try and make his own shot, but Fusion is going to get a piece of it after it bounces off the backboard. Okay, Alec pops it up, but it actually got it past Oni, so no shot was available. St. Clair might be able to make something happen out of this. Taff going to push it forward once again. It's not been out of the St. Clair zone in a good little while. We're almost at this halfway point here, and I think St. Clair's maybe had one shot so far in this entire game. Trying to make something happen. Kamal along the side, carries it into the crease, looks to try and pop it up. Fusion is nearby, off the backboard, double touch. It's going to go just slow motion across the net. Kriz is trying to battle up against Taff. Kamal made the attempt, but missed it as well. And now this is a wide open net. Brutally done here from Georgia Tech. Just passing it over. Oni sees Fusion coming, pops it forward, and Taff just with enough of a tap as well, just to make sure that nobody could have sped through the side and made that save. So Georgia Tech going to put themselves up ahead 2-0 here in this game. That being said, Kriz had himself a pretty good face-off win, but it's not going to lead to a shot, unfortunately. And once again, nobody home except for Fusion. And thankfully for the side of St. Clair, able to make something happen. Kriz to Kamal, shot on target. Alec going to push out a side like it's nobody's business. And as Fusion goes down, Kamal going to be forced to use all the boost he has to try and make a save there. Oni coming in towards St. Clair net once again. Alec tries to make a shot off. Taff going to bring it forward. Just dumps it back into the St. Clair corner. Kriz gets demoed, and now it's a 2-on-1 in the St. Clair zone. Can they find a finisher? Damn right they're going to. Oni going to bring this to a 3-0 lead, getting his first one of the game. The demo's timings have been rather brutal here, coming out from Georgia Tech, and they're making them count. Still a minute 30 on the clock, 3 goals to try and catch up. A tall task indeed. The defense from Georgia Tech in this game specifically has looked pretty well impenetrable. And they're going to try something. Kamal Overt takes the shot. That was Kriz who took the shot, but it did not get like any juice on that in the slightest. Kriz going to be back in the net where Fusion is able to make the save. Gets past Alec. Fusion trying to make a move, but he's not going to be able to make the one-on-one necessary. Kamal to Kriz. Can Kriz get there in time? He's not going to be able to race Oni for it, and Oni takes control for at least the moment. Passes it back to Alec. Alec on target. Oni back into the St. Clair corner. He's just going to hold it here, try to kill some time. Wisely done. The Fusion is still on the foretrack, trying to put the pressure onto this the squad. Shot on target, but Alec from above, making the save from the crossbar. Nicely done. Oni and Fusion getting into it a little bit in the crease of the St. Clair zone. They're going to move it forward. Kriz going to try and lob it over. He is going to be able to finally find one. But that is probably a little too late to get this back into an overtime scenario. In theory, they could probably snag one more, but it's still too little too late unless something absolutely bonkers happens in these next 9 seconds. Five seconds to go. Kamal looking to move forward, but it is not going to be to any prevail. It's going to be pushed aside. Taff going to make sure he can just let that thing drop. And Georgia Tech going to put themselves up 2 in this best of 7 series. Starting off the game strong. Showing that that big break did not affect them in slightest of sorts. Goals for this game: 2 from Taff, 1 from Oni, and then 1 from Kariz. And then in regards to the best saves in this matchup as well, Alec led the charge with 3 saves for his team. So St. Clair, I mean, I was giving them hell for not having any shots, but they definitely did. I mean, Kariz had 5 shots by himself, which is absolutely ridiculous, but was just constantly turned aside over and over again. Sure, Kariz was able to find 1 eventually, but it was not enough to make it happen. St. Clair going to use all the time in the bank in between rounds to just regroup and move forward. Thankfully, it's not match point yet, this not being a best of 5 series. Otherwise, they'd be put into the hot seat. But I'll tell you what, I've not necessarily seen how St. Clair plays in a best of 7 series. It's always been a rather rough start for game 1 and 2, and then they barely keep themselves alive moving forward into like game 3, 4, and 5. Now what's going to happen here in this 7 series? This is going to be a difficult one, to say the least. We hear the cars on the field. We're about to hop into it. This is game number 3. Okay, so right off the face-off, we're right back into the St. Clair zone. A little bit of an odd spot. It's Georgia Tech right back on the attack. Fusion going to try and push it forward. Hard shot from Taff. Going to go wide. Rough pass there from Kamal, actually. Alec was right there. It could have possibly made the one-timer attempt, but did not quite make the contact he was looking for. Oni with the demo onto Kariz, taking him out of the play for a moment. Really roughing up the St. Clair defense so far. But if anything I've seen so far from watching this Rocket League team play is anytime they're able to get on the offense and put themselves in the position where they hold the control, they hold the tempo, they hold the pressure, they're constantly able to then be extremely good on defense as well, because just they're in the other zone. They constantly are avoiding any other shots. But anytime they get stuck playing in their own zone for too long, anytime they're the ones constantly fending off shot after shot, something ends up breaking. And it's exactly what we're seeing here, as Oni going to find the first goal of this 3rd game after getting it past Kariz and taking the shot off of Fusion's bumper. Okay, off the face-off, Fusion charging in. Kamal might be able to get a shot. It was maybe a little bit too hot for him to handle, so he's just going to try and stop it for the time being. Pop fly in the center. Fusion trying to make the shot as well. Dumps it into the corner. Tries to chase down Oni. Oni's going to get by everybody, however. Still a pop fly ball in the GT zone. Shot going to be denied. Kariz centering pass going to be pushed aside by Oni once again. Kamal off the roof, going to be picked up by Alec, but Kamal's still there. Fusion and Kamal both just kind of bouncing off each other. Both want to make that play, but somebody has to go. Someone has to let up, and it's going to make it so that Kariz, even though he had the perfect centering attempt, nobody was available. Everyone was still recovering after that last play. Definitely a high-stakes, frustrating moment here for St. Clair, trying to get themselves back into this game. Don't want to give up another one. Not now, not ever. Fusion tries to make the aerial play, but he's going to miss it. Taff lobs it up for Alex. Shot on target. Kariz going to push it aside. Oni off the backboard. Centering attempt pushed aside. Small shot saved by Alec. Fusion, this is going to come centering across the wall as Oni bumps it. He's going to get a piece of it. Shot by Kariz. Is going to be stopped by Oni. Kamal with it in the skies in the corner. Pushes it forward. Denied by, I believe that was Alec up in the skies. Open net here for Oni if he can get there fast enough. Kamal is trying to challenge him. He goes soaring past the ball, but unfortunately there for Oni. He could not pick it up. That being said, nice little defense here from Fusion. He kind of lost the ball, but he then just played interference, but there was nobody available to get the clean shot off, which is now going to send this right back into the St. Clair zone. Loose in front. Oni going to get his second goal of the game. A nice little pass there from Alec off the backboard. Lined it up beautifully for Oni to just tap that thing in. He just crushes it anyway just to make sure. But now we have ourselves in a very similar situation as St. Clair is down 2-0. An awkward bounce off that face-off, though, could have turned into something, but it's not going to just yet. Alec denies Fusion. Slow motion ball here. Chris was back there to make the save, and it's going to now be Kamal forced to come out with it in the corner of the GT zone. Looking to try and make the play. He actually just tackled Alec. Just ignored the ball completely, which would have been proper. Kariz was nearby to try to make the play, but it was cleared out by Oni as we now have it back in the St. Clair zone. Loose in front, shot fired, missed. Kamal going to pick it up, try to put this thing on target, but it's going to be pushed aside by Oni once again. I swear to God, Oni is absolutely everywhere for Georgia Tech right now. Stops that shot from happening. Fusion puts it forward. Alec coming in to push it aside as well. Minute left in this game. St. Clair need 2 to tie this up. Otherwise, they are going to be at risk of going down 3-0 and completely running out of wiggle room here. But sometimes it seems like that's the way they function better. But it's definitely a stressful spot to put yourself into as a player. 30 seconds left to go. Taff looking to chase this thing down, but it's going to be picked up by Alec, actually. Who dumps it into the St. Clair zone, drops it in, and I mean, Alec would have probably had his own rebounds there anyway. It's going to bounce off of one of the St. Clair defenders, but it's going to tie this, or not tie this up, it's going to bring this up to a 4-0, I believe. No, 3-0, my bad. And Taff going to maybe look to try and snag one more here as the time continues to tick down. Less than 15 seconds on the clock in this third game. St. Clair at risk now as we move into game number 4, as they are all out of lives of sorts. No more chances. They have to reverse sweep. Otherwise, their playoff run today is over. A rough shutout coming out on the side of the GT Swarm. As that time by, we have, of course, 3 goals total, with Oni getting 2 of them and Alec finding that last one. Assists across the board, 1 for everybody, and St. Clair being limited to 2 shots. But in all reality, GT was also just limited to 4 shots. It was a lot of neutral zone play throughout that game, but it was just a matter of when you had the opportunity, did you convert? And they did, for the most part. In this case here, they converted 3 out of 4 times. That is a solid percentage, to say so nonetheless. Yeah, so for the first time, it's going to be our St. Clair squad in a best of 7, and they have to reverse sweep it. Godspeed, everybody. Not biased at all. But nonetheless, this is going to be a fantastic matchup. I mean, GT has been definitely putting the hurt on so far. But there's always something special about putting this St. Clair squad onto match point and seeing what happens. It's like a completely different team, a completely different beast shows up. And we need that to happen again for the rest of the set if we want to move forward into the top 4. Because as you can see right under the GT's name, they're all lit up. They have their 3 victories. They just need 1 more to move forward into this top 4. And I like what I see in the chat. The support is here for the St. Clair squad. Probably the most support I've seen for this Rocket League team all season. I absolutely love it. and they need you here. They need your energy. Let's see what they can do. 3 seconds in, and it's been a relatively quiet start to this one. Kamal looking to start some offense here for the Saints. He's going to be able to get it past Taff. Alec not going to be able to clear it very well. Kariz tries to challenge Oni, but somebody's got to shut that guy down. I swear he has been absolutely all over the place, defensively and offensively, for the side of Georgia Tech. And it feels like nothing is going to happen if he is on the field. I don't know if we're going to result to demos or what, but they could get something started. Shot on target, going to go actually high. A nice attempt. Kamal looking to put another shot on target, but Alec going to be right there to stop it. Fusion trying to make a play, but he's got to go through all 3 of them. Not going to happen. Alec from the corner. Shot just a bit tall on that one, but Oni's going to pick it up in the St. Clair corner without boost. Fusion goes down, and right after the demo, that is where Taff looks to strike. Off the backboard. Wide open net, nobody home. Kariz trying to make it happen, but this is not the start that the St. Clair Saints were looking for. Puts themselves in even more of the hot seat. This is a rough face-off, actually, too. Taff is going to be able to take this off all by himself. He drops it right into the crease. All St. Clair members are flying. They're scrambling right now to try and keep this game under control. But Alec now trying to put it across too. He's trying to juke it over to Taff, but he's not going to be able to successfully do that. Taff now does have control of it. Drops it down. Oni's not in position to necessarily get a shot off, but he'll have control of it for at least a moment. Passes it off to Alec, who's going to pass it off to nobody. It gets intercepted, actually. So now we're over in the GT zone. Alec going to push this forward over to Oni. Oni over to Taff. Taff, shot, goes wide. Rebound, goes wide as well. Alec up in the top, trying to make a shot once again. Going to be stopped by Fusion. Kariz takes to the skies once again. Kamal goes down, however. This is a bit of a rough spot. Fusion and Oni racing for it into the corner. Fusion gets a piece of it, drops into the middle of the crease. Who's going to get a first touch on it? It's going to be Alec. Fusion gets a piece, tries to go up in the skies to get a rebound on it, but he's not going to be able to control it. Just going to get sent right back into the St. Clair zone. Just over halfway complete here in this game 4. Possibly the end, and St. Clair get on the board as Kariz finds the shot. Kamal pops it off the rooftop, drops it down right for him, and he's able to pelt that thing right into the net. We've tied the game up with 2 minutes left. All now stuck in the St. Clair zone with under 2 minutes. Alec getting aggressive, takes Kariz out of the play. It's been constantly there defensively for St. Clair throughout this day. Well, to be honest, everybody's been taking their turn defensively on the side of St. Clair. So any one of them going down could be brutal. We've seen it time and time again here from this GT squad. As soon as a demo happens, that's oftentimes the go time for a solid shot. Anyway, from across the board, we have 2 shots back-to-back here. Oni going to get the first one, though. Shot on target, Kariz barely getting there in time. No boost left. The pressure is still on, however. Taff going to put this into the crease once again. Passes it off to Alec. Drops it down. Huge angle. Holy crap, Alec. How did you pull that one off? Gets his own rebound off the top or off the backboard and just bounces it in. I mean, that's no good for Saints, but that was still a beautiful shot. I have to say when it's due. A beautiful shot there from Alec, but we still have a minute left to go. The Saints playoffs hope have a minute left to go here. They need it, and they need it quick. A nice little check, actually, off the backboard. Can somebody get something started here from St. Clair? It is in the GT zone. Nobody's able to control this, though. This ball is absolutely rampant right now. Kamal gets demoed as he had control. Alec's going to then be able to clear it. 40 seconds left to go, and St. Clair's playoff hopes. Grizz uncontested, able to clear it out. Does have a little bit of boost now to try and make something happen. Fusion off the backboard. It's coming around. Going to be stopped for the moment by Alec. Kamal is getting messed up by Oni in the midfield. He was not able to set up for the shot. Huge interference, huge play there from Oni to shut that down. As we're now down to 15 seconds. 1 or 2 more plays. Either way, 10 seconds of counting shot, and that will seal the deal. Alec getting his second goal of the game, which will probably be the insurance maker here for Georgia Tech University, as they're going to move on to this tournament, but not move forward in CRL because of the disputes that happened earlier. But nonetheless, this will be the end of the St. Clair Saints run. Georgia Tech going to take them out. It's not going to be the end of the action here for St. Clair, as they're going to be having their third place matchup later on tonight versus, I'm not even sure. I think it's University of Chicago or something like that, but that'll be on the UCEA channel. And that is definitely a feels bad man for the side of St. Clair, but that is absolutely nothing to be ashamed of. A fantastic run this entire series, this entire playoff run. They made it into the top 8. They are still going to get to their share of, I believe it's $2. Let's see, where did Umiboo put that that bracket? Let me double check here. Yeah, top 8, so they still get to split $2,000 amongst themselves. They get to go into the CRL. It's still a crazy, absolutely amazing day for Saints Rocket League. I wish we could have made it a little bit further. I'm sure they wish as well. But eventually the run has to stop. And that'll be it for tonight. How crazy am I thinking? But no, I'm going to close out real quick first. But let's take a look. So with that completing the GT Swarm, we'll move on to play whoever wins between Nova Nighthawks and University of Oregon. And it looks like the Nova Nighthawks did take that one. So they're going to move forward. But still, this would put our Saints, I believe, it'd technically be tied for 5th, wouldn't it? I believe so. These single elimination brackets are sometimes a little bit odd. But nonetheless, a big thank you to everybody who tuned in to this PlayVS Playoff Rocket League run. Awesome day for our St. Clair Saints. Our Rocket League team did fantastic. An absolutely intense season. Like I was saying before, they had NACE, they had UCEA, and they had PlayVS, plus additional tournaments on the side, all in the same season. And yet they're able to pull this off, constantly on the grind, and make it work. Do it in the CRL. I know I'm personally excited to see how that goes for them as well. But with that, we will look to start closing out. I do want to thank the sponsors, of course, who did make this all possible. Of course, that's St. Clair College Alumni Association, and the SRC, PC Outlet, Tim Hortons, and the Zeckelman School of Business and IT. Now, here on the Saints Gaming CA channel, I think I'm going to get crazy. We're going to get quick with it, but we're going to make it try to make it happen. Because 7 o'clock tonight, we're going to do a speed run here to see how fast I can set up this stream. But we got Call of Duty Cold War TESPA action starting at 7 o'clock. So I'm going to get to work on that one pretty much right away. And we'll get to see how that happens. That'll be the second game in the new, or their second match in the new Cold War season. That'll be around the corner momentarily. Other matchups this week, of course, including the OPSC Hearthstone match on Wednesday. We also have OPSC League of Legends on Thursday. And then this weekend, as of right now, it's going to be essentially purely Cold War. So if you're here for Call of Duty, be sure to follow, because it's going to be an exciting one. And sure enough, okay, there we go. I got the confirmation in the chat. Thank you, Sean. Technically tied for 5th. You just label it as top 8. So a fantastic day nonetheless there for our St. Clair squad. But I'm going to keep myself busy. I'm going to set up for some Call of Duty up next. We're going to take the stream down for at least a little bit here. But right around the corner it will be TESPA Call of Duty. But one more time, amazing season to our St. Clair Saints Rock League team. They did an absolutely phenomenal job, and I look forward to what the next series they enter and how that goes. Rocket League has always been one of those games that's been like, it's been on my radar. I've enjoyed it, but it's definitely come around in this semester. I don't know what it is, but definitely love casting it. Even if I'm solo casting it, I definitely enjoy it. It makes me feel like I'm on AM 800 casting the Spitfires or something. But nonetheless, we'll see you guys next time as we get ready for some Call of Duty. And if you want to watch some more Rocket League action, 7 o'clock actually on the UCA channel, UCAGG, they're going to be doing the third place match to see where the St. Clair Saints finish in the UCA season. All right, I'm rambling. Time to close out for now. I'll see you in a few minutes.